The International Press Institute, IPI, issued a statement on Thursday praising a decision by Turkey's constitutional court which deemed a journalist's suspended jail term for insulting officials a violation of freedom of expression. In a landmark ruling on Wednesday, the court declared that a suspended 14-month prison sentence handed down to journalist Bekir Coşkun over a column in which he criticized public officials was a violation of freedom of speech and freedom of the press. A lower court's decision against the journalist had come after three then-deputies from the Justice and Development Party, AK Party, complained about a July 4, 2013 column in which Coşkun questioned how support for the party could be so high given what he termed its many scandals and disgraces. After the ruling was appealed, the Constitutional Court ordered the sentence be rescinded and awarded Coşkun TL 1,700 euros, in damages, stating that the acceptable limits of criticism of politicians are wider than the acceptable limits of criticism of other people. According to the IPI, the Turkish top court's ruling is a positive development. However, the IPI added, the true test of the impact of the decision, which cited rulings by the European Court of Human Rights, (ACTA), will be whether lower courts choose to follow it and whether it leads to renewed efforts to reform laws that give government officials heightened protection from scrutiny. While this decision is a welcome step, it needs to be followed by action, IPI Director of Advocacy and Communications Stephen M. Ellis said. He added, lower courts need to ensure that their rulings on cases involving defamation or insult meet the standards of the European Convention on Human Rights ECHR, which Turkey has signed. Prosecutors need to stop bringing cases that chill journalists from reporting legitimate criticism of public officials, and lawmakers need to move to amend these laws to make sure that they cannot be used to stifle reporting on matters of public interest. According to Ellis, equally importantly, Turkish government officials need to accept that a position as a public servant requires them, in order to uphold the public trust, to accept a greater degree of scrutiny. While sometimes unpleasant for them, that is absolutely vital to the function of democracy. The IPI statement also quoted Turkish law professor Dr. Yaman Akdeniz, vice-rector at Istanbul Bilgi University, as saying, the ruling does not go deep into issues with respect to the chilling effect of criminal insult prosecutions and investigations. Akdeniz also emphasized to the IPI that it remained to be seen whether lower courts would embrace the Constitutional Court decision in their own rulings. Pointing to the court's rulings last year throwing out bans on Twitter and YouTube, he noted, the impact of the Twitter and YouTube decisions have been zero, and websites and content are still subjected to blocking decisions on a daily basis. The IPI statement concluded by saying, the IPI has regularly highlighted the problem that journalists face from Turkey's criminal insult laws, which provide prison sentences as a penalty and increase the term when the person complaining is a public official and the content at issue was delivered via the media. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has filed hundreds of such cases against journalists and others in the last year. In a troubling development, Cumhuriyet reporter Canan Coşkun last week found herself facing a potential 23-year prison sentence after judiciary officials objected to her article that alleged they were able to buy discounted residences from a public real estate company.